It is not one of the best kept secrets, but the mountain bike community has certainly been talking about it. Yesterday, a news release dropped into my mailbox suggesting that something pretty magnificent, magical, large in scope is happening up at Big White Resort as part of an expanded summer program. Took another look a little closer, and Big White has started a mountain bike trail construction that has the mountain bike community talking. And so I thought we'd check in this morning with Michael Ballingall from Big White Ski Resort to talk a little bit about this summer program and the plans for it. Mr. Ballingall, good day to you.
Good morning, Phil. Listeners, go Blue Jays.
Hey, listen, they either get it done tonight or they go home, buddy.
Been there, done that. Hey, exciting to talk to the 56-year-old guy about downhill mountain biking. Light your hair on fire. This is a very exciting time for Big White Ski Resort.
Okay, so what are you doing here? Because my understanding is that I know, and there's a couple of other mountains here in the valley that have for some time had a mountain bike program, but this is somewhere different. This is someplace special. This is topographical maps. This is big construction. This is sort of is this like a Telus snowboard park for the mountain bike set?
Well, it's similar, but it's a lot longer. Of course, you know, Silver Star and Big White are joined at the hip, and for many, many years, Silver Star has a very successful mountain biking program. So when Peter Plimmer, the youngest president of any ski resort in Canada, decided to look at what are we going to offer for summer, well, we've had 2 years of hiking, and it's been a lot of fun, but nobody's getting the adrenaline rush that mountain biking is giving you. And Peter is a downhill mountain biker. Travels through all of Crawford Estates, travels to Whistler many times throughout the year, and he just decided to ask the board if he could have the money to go out and build from scratch mountain biking trails. So when you have this beautiful piece of canvas that is Big White Ski Resort, and you can go out and create the best of the best, you invite the best riders in the world. Well, 2 of them happen to live in the Okanagan Valley. All of a sudden, their sponsors, Red Bull and Shimano, they want to get involved in filming the making of these trails. So we literally gave some young men and women backhoes, dump trucks, shovels, rakes, wood, and said, go out there and create the best of the best, and these people will film it. So for the last 3 months, we've been building some of the best mountain biking trails that you'll find anywhere in the world. We're pretty excited about what they are now. Red Bull and Shimano have shot a movie regarding that, so the pros have ridden those trails. We'll now put the trails to bed. It'll snow. We'll have a great snow season, and when that melts, we'll dust them off, and on June the 24th, we'll open them up, and we'll see what happens.
How did all this happen, and nobody knew? As I say, my sense is the mountain bike community was kind of prattling back and forth between them and saying, hey, have you heard what's going on up at Big White? But there's been no public recognition that this is going on, or if there has been, I've certainly missed it, and usually I hear or see most of these stories.
The big secret was, Phil, is that at the request of Red Bull, who is one of the most powerful marketing machines in the world, they wanted to have the movie in the can so they could release it on their social media channels worldwide. Our expectation is it'll have over 10 million views in the first 48 hours that it is viewed. So when someone's offering you a deal like that, you step up to the plate and say, okay, we'll let you release it first, and then we'll go out and release it. And, of course, we had to make sure that it was rideable. We had to make sure that it was ready. And there's still a lot of safety concerns to open it to the public because it's just not at its final stages. So we're just asking people to stay off the mountain. It is that time of the year that it'll probably snow this weekend. We still need to do some final finishing touches for the average rider because there is no way the average person, even the good people, could go out and use the jumps that we constructed for Red Bull. We will now detune that. Those are for the experts, and we'll make it fun for the whole family.
So talk to me then. This is part of an overall summer tourism strategy. Clearly, as you pointed at the walk-in, you've been open for 2 summers now. Clearly, whatever has been going on up at Big White is justified what I would obviously see as a huge investment. Suddenly it takes summer at Big White someplace else that it's never been before.
Well, the most important part is that individual owners of real estate have been asking for a long time, how can we enjoy our mountain retreat in the summertime. And so there's two things that we have on the books. We would like to build indoor hockey rinks because we think hockey academies, hockey schools at that elevation with the infrastructure that's already there would be very successful. We just have to work with the government and find some funding to be in the hockey rink business because that's not the business that we're in. That's the business the community should be in. And then we went and we said, what's the next best thing? And when you create an adrenaline rush, similar to what Revelstoke did with their roller coaster this year, it's a very successful program. Well, at 5,500 feet above sea level to 6,800 feet above sea level, there's a lot of rock. So it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of equipment, and it takes a lot of money. And so we were going to do this step by step, and we were going to do it properly because it will be available for generations and generations to come. And just like the Surwas and the Mervyn family built Big White 54 years ago, step by step, that's what we're going to do with summer.
So when's the opening officially?
Well, if Mother Nature cooperates and the snow melts on time, we should be riding downhill mountain bikes on Saturday, June the 24th, 2017.
Very, very cool. Full facilities, and by that I mean, you know, for the family that arrives here in the Okanagan, don't bring bikes with them. You're going to do bike rentals and the whole enchilada?
Yeah, we'll have a fleet of mountain bikes. We have to remember that we have to be very careful with this because we don't want to have overcapacity and people standing in lines. We're only going to have 4 trails ready on June the 24th next year. The uphill capacity of that lift is somewhere around about 1,000 bikers an hour. And so we're going to max out pretty quickly here if we're just paying attention to social media and the buzz that the valley has. We're not going to have to go outside the valley. There will be some hotels, restaurants. But mountain biking is very specific and very specific requirements. Some of those bikes are in the tens of thousands of dollars. And so you have to be able to lock them away. You have to be able to clean them. So we know what the best of the best is. We know and we've benchmarked off of some of the best of resorts all over the world, and that's what we'll be creating.
Final thought here before we go just about out of time. I appreciate yours. If you're suggesting that there will be 4 trails immediately available once spring arrives next year, ultimately, what's the grand plan? How many trails will be open and available up there?
Well, it's a volume thing. On the drawing board right now, there's 22, and that could sustain the mountain biking population that we think will come to the Central Okanagan, and that's in the Central Okanagan. But like anything at Big White Ski Resort, if the volume warrants it, we will build it. And you know what's going to happen this weekend? It's going to snow, and we will have that great ski season. So just like we're good at skiing, we're going to be great at mountain biking.
You just keep having those snow dreams. And as you said a moment ago, go Blue Jays, go. Big White Resort starts construction of a world-class lift-serviced mountain bike trail network up on top. You ride the lifts up. You spend your time up on the trails up at 6,000 plus feet. And then when your day is done, you can ride down to the valley, to the village before you go home. Really an adventurous plan being advanced by Big White.